Hey guys, and welcome to another Martin's Rhythm Method video. I think this is about episode 9 now, but who's counting? I hope you're all doing well. Now today we're going to be looking briefly at some of the chords that I've been mentioning that maybe if you've only learnt your basic major and minor chords, you've only ever played in a rock context, you might not be absolutely comfortable or familiar with what they are. So we're going to be looking at what a suspended second is, what a suspended fourth is, and the different kind of seventh and sixth chords. Okay, so as you can see, I've zoomed the camera in so you can get a closer view of my hands. I apologise that probably now you think there's some dismembered head going around speaking, but it's important to be able to see what's going on with the fretting hand. Okay, so let's start with the suspended fourth. Probably the most familiar chord. If you've ever heard Pinball Wizard by The Who, then you've heard a suspended fourth chord. There are all sorts of different ways of playing it, various open chords. We're going to concentrate on bar chord formations. Okay, so if we look at a standard E shape, or root sixth if you will, bar chord, so on the 5th fret, so we're playing an A chord, and if you want to think in fret numbers as we play down the 6 strings, we're going 5, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5 for the standard major chord. Okay, now how do we make that into a suspended fourth? Well, as it sounds, the important thing on a suspended fourth chord is the fourth. This isn't rocket science. And the fourth is 1 fret above the major third. Okay, so we think about where our major third is. Okay, it's an A chord, so our third is a C sharp, which we're playing with the 2nd finger. So all we do to make it into a suspended fourth is move it up a fret. So we're going from the major, and you can either just slide your finger along, or we can have a bit of a rejig, which is usually my way of doing it, to okay, and that now in terms of fret numbers is 5, 7, 7, 7, 5, 5. And if you want the Pinball Wizard thing going on, then you've got okay, that's your suspended fourth. In an A shape or a root 5 bar chord, it's the same idea, except we're playing, let's say, an A shape, so it's a D. And in this case, the third that we want to make into a fourth is on the B string, so we're just pushing that up a fret by moving our little finger. So we're going from to okay, now I suggest you have a play around and see where else you can find suspended fourth chords. The important thing is, with it being a suspended chord, the fourth is also the 11th. But the difference between a fourth and an 11th chord is that a suspended fourth means there's no third. Okay, a suspended fourth chord, we're taking out the third and putting a fourth in its place. And that's kind of why it's called a suspended, and it automatically wants to resolve back down to the major chord. That's just how it works. That's what a suspended chord does. It creates suspension, it creates tension, and tension always seeks resolution. In music, in life, in anything, tension is something you want to resolve. Right, our second chord then that we're looking at is a suspended second chord. And as with a suspended fourth, we don't have a third. Instead we go down to a second. It's not easy playing an E-shape bar chord. The way you might get around it would be to play a ninth instead, which would be to move your little finger from there up 2 frets, and that's really difficult, so I would suggest not worrying too much about suspended second chords in E shape. Find somewhere else to play them. But on an A chord, it's really easy. Okay, an A shaped chord, all we're doing is we're taking off the little finger entirely, so that we're going from, we're pulling it off so that the bar with the first finger is what frets the note on the B string. And this again wants to resolve up either to a minor or a major chord. It doesn't matter which. So resolving to a minor would be, which has a nice kind of lilting, haunting sound to it. And doing the same thing, resolving to a major chord, would be, and as you can see, my hand is barely having to move to do that. And you can even go from suspended fourths to majors to suspended seconds and back very easily just by moving the one finger. So. And that works surprisingly well even with a crunchy sound on it. So if I go for a fairly overdriven sound, now this is a really heavy sound, but because we're playing on a high string and the way frequencies work, which is all to do with physics and stuff, it's a bit messy, then we still can hear the clarity of that. Okay, so suspended fourth chord is nice and big. Suspended second chord still sounds pretty good. Okay, so again we can switch between one and the other. Okay, so that's how you can do suspended seconds and suspended fourths and even run them together. You can also do a suspended second on a D shape, which isn't something that you would maybe often do. A D shape power chord, so root on the fourth string, but suspended seconds work really well and quite easy to finger. So to do that, again, we're barring the top 4 strings with the first finger, and then we're using the ring finger to play 2 frets further up on the G string, and the little finger is a fret further up again on the B string, and we're leaving the top string just with the bar, which will then give you another of these suspended seconds. And then again, you can add your second finger to give you the major. You can do a partial bar just by flattening your little finger out, which gives you suspended fourth. Okay, now that again would maybe work better with a clean sound, but it's surprising how effective it can be even with distortion. And it's just another nice little trick. If I see, in that case, 5th fret of a D shape power chord, it's a G, and if I see G suspended seconds, I could play the open ones. Maybe I'm only seeing a G chord and I'm thinking, how can I do something other than just play?